Well, hello, everybody. Good morning, Bobby.
Good morning, Ed.
Hey, thanks for coming in. What's new? Anything new? Did you do any open houses over the weekend?
I did not. I
It was
saw
a
the
warm
forecast.
weekend to actually do some open houses because it was warm that weekend.
Yeah. Well, and my experience tells me that when it's 105 and above, people just don't come out, even if they're really interested. So
I stepped outside. I mean, I hung out by the pool besides watching movies all day on Saturday, but I hung out, went out by the pool. But prior to going out there, I went out there for a second to do a couple things. I walked back in the house. I'm dripping sweat. And I'm like, this is freaking odd. And then Sunday, I was in the pool and I was like, hey, George, you want to go in the pool with me? I threw his thing and he's like, no. I walked back in the house. I'm not going to get in there.
Is that the pit bull?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can he swim?
Yeah, I taught him. Yeah, he's learned how to get in and out so he can get out. It took him a while because when he first got in and chased a football, this is like 4 weeks ago, he almost drowned because he tried to get out where he can't get out. So I go, okay, let's keep doing this and show him where to get out. Now he knows to turn and go right out, how to get out. Yeah.
Well, a lot of people think pit bulls can't swim, right?
Yeah. Well, they pretty much will sink. I mean, the thing is, if he keeps, no, they're not good at it. You have to keep training them to understand, keep paddling, you know what I mean? It's otherwise, and he's chasing this toy now. And so he's like my son when it came to a ball. He has no regard for his safety.
Yeah.
He just goes and, because I was going to get one of those little life preservers. So when he falls, at first they didn't want anything to do with it.
Yeah.
But when this little football went in there for the people we had over playing, and he was like, I'm going for that. That's mine.
But my in-laws had a pit bull for years, man, and not only did she swim, but she dove, and she would go down to the bottom of the pool at 10 feet, man.
No, really?
Go get a Kong ball, yeah.
Wow.
That was like everyone when I tell them that story, like, yeah, that never happened. She did it all the time.
I believe it because they're unique dogs. They can learn to do something. It's like anything. It comes out there, doesn't have hate or anything. You have to teach that.
Oh, no,
but he's like, he'll put at first he's like trying to get it on the steps. He put his whole head underwater and grabbing it and stuff. Yeah. And it's like, but the first time he almost died because he got out and he's like, but he's learned. Yeah. But it's good because he wants to be outside with us. And the only way to stay outside as a dog is to be wet because it's hot.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say, it sounds like majority of your backyard's pool now, right?
Yeah, we have the little grass area for the dogs to go on. But other than that, yeah, and a flower bed, and then concrete for the barbecue area, and then this whole little sitting area when you first come out. It's a unique backyard. Everyone's like, man, your backyard looks so much bigger now.
Yeah, just because it's like one solid surface you can kind of see.
Well, just you can everything to the edge instead of like this big lawn that had a little area for flower bed and trees and other stuff, which took up a lot, But yeah, what are you going to do? The most important thing is if you're buying a house, look for one with the pool. It's so much cheaper to buy a house with it. However, unless it's a really old pool, then it's going to cost almost as much to fix it as it is to put one in.
Yeah, so interesting enough, I did an open house recently at a very nice house where the previous owner was trying to put in a pool himself and never finished.
Oh, really?
So the current homeowner, when they bought it, they had a big hole they had to fill in. So, but yeah, there's been a couple of instances where I've showed homes that do have old pools, and you see like plumbing rewraps, things like that, and like you can tell water's not circulating. That just looks like a headache. But yeah, I tell most of my buyers, if you want a house with a pool, let's find you one because it's going to be a lot more money than you would expect.
Right, but if it's an older home with an older pool, you're still talking probably could be $40,000 to fix it and make it new or whatever or more.
Yeah,
depending on what you're looking to do. But yeah, but for us, we put one in. I look out back constantly and like, wow, this is our backyard.
This looks great. Huh?
And you look out front and go, man, that's a horrible front yard because it got destroyed. And I'm like, I'm not spending any money during the summer to put anything, plants or anything because it'll just die, potentially die.
Well, you're not selling it, so you don't need curb appeal right now, right?
No, but my gardener killed our grass because he knew that we were going to tear everything. It's like, I didn't ask you to do it. Now I got like one or two weeds growing up and it's like, I got to get those taken out. But thanks for that to save us the money for the gardener. But maybe next time you ask me before you spray my grass. Anyway, enough about that. So since we're talking about homes, you asked me about the shared with the California Dream for All shared appreciation loan, or what we actually know as is shared appreciation for some.
Yeah.
California Dream for some, not for all.
I think Mikey called it Dream for None, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, it's not a bad program once you look at it. But they did put it in the budget back in the 18th of this month, 200 million. They had 300 million last time, and that was gone in like 9 days.
Yeah.
So this will be gone in like 4.5. Because if you plan ahead, if you're waiting for this, but it says on here that CalHAFA will provide an update this fall about, time for applications and all that other stuff that's going on. They'll send it out. But if you know anything, their last one was, I think, March. And so I have a feeling they're going to say, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do it in March. So get your applications in now. So, it's going to get overfilled, first in, first come, first serve, I guess you should say.
Yeah.
And you got to be in contract before you can apply for the money. So you're going to see a lot of pent up demand again. And last time in those 9 days, I would say probably the house values went up, I don't know, 20 grand, because all the people writing way over.
Yeah.
Because it can be used for down and closing costs, not just down.
I mean, which is great. Let's see how it shakes out, come 10 years from now when someone wants to sell that house.
It's not a big, if you do it and if you refinance it, because remember, the rate's not that great, right? It's the current rates. So you're going to refinance that soon. Well, and you want to refinance it as soon as possible. But you have to go up so much in equity to give them their 20% back, right?
Yeah.
So you figure you have to go up 40% to give them 20% back, right? You understand that?
Yeah.
I'm just making sure everybody understands that too. So that means also on top of that, so you got that 40% plus so you really need like 43 to cover any. I'm not saying you're going to need all that for closing costs, but about that is what you're going to need to refinance. That could take a few years, right? And you're not going to be able to refinance right away unless they come out with their own program to refinance these programs when rates drop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So where you don't have to wait for that. You still have their second, they just refinance the first. The longer they can keep you in it, the longer it's better for them.
Yeah.
The government, they make more money the longer they keep you in it.
I mean, I do like the concept of it. It's getting families into larger homes that maybe they didn't qualify before. So.
Well, it saves. So a lot of people are like, well, but you got to give them back to 20%. But if you look at their number, if the house goes up $100,000 in 5 years, you end up giving them $25,000. But you actually, or is it
20,000?
Yeah, 20. No, well, you got to give them 20% of 100,000, which is 20 grand, right? You're right. But you're gonna save $500 a month for that same 5-year period. So you make 25 grand and you give them 20 grand. You follow me?
Yeah.
So it's a great deal because you save per month for so long. So it's not a bad deal. At first I was against it because you had to pay them back. But if you look at it that way, it works. I don't know where that line meets where it doesn't work anymore. Probably 10 years. Right. But make sure if you're going to do this program, you go ahead and get the home buyer education ahead of time, do all that stuff ahead of time. I know they're going to still want to do their little interview or whatever they do. So you're going to want to make sure you get in contract right away. So you're going to see a lot of people who have these programs that may be working with an agent who has a listing or an agent. I'm not saying they're doing anything wrong. I'm just saying, they're going to, all right, we got it tied up, ready, go. It's going to be, as soon as it's available, they're going to, because I think originally 100 million went right away. I mean, like within hours, that first 24 hours.
Yeah.
Because the people had those things set up ahead of time. But again, I'm thinking they're going to talk to us about this in, I don't know, probably November, and then say it's going to be in March. I could be wrong, but that's what they did last time.
But, you and I were talking off camera, though, like, let's remind buyers, like, hey, don't wait around for this, because like you said, it's more likely it's going to be like next March. And at that point, how much are you, projecting that home prices will have gone up, right?
Right. Well, if you look at today, right, we are in July. So you got, let's just say August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. So that's 8 months. And right now, let's just say we're appreciating in California 2% a month. So that's 16%. That property is going to go up. So if you were going to buy a $500,000 home times, what did I say?
16%.
So that went up $80,000 potentially.
And you're going to be competing with a lot more buyers because obviously there's going to be a ton of people that jump in this program.
Right.
And I'm hoping rates will, soften a little bit.
I know we hope.
Yeah.
But, we can hope. We thought they were going to go much lower faster, and we're kind of sitting here. We're staying here. We're not moving much. Good numbers come out, but we're not seeing. I think if we saw a drop in unemployment like you would not believe, like the unemployment rate went up, not like from the 3-something, like supposedly in California we're at 4%. But if we went to like 7%, then we'd see a huge drop in rates. Because then that's what the Fed's looking for, a huge drop in employment. It's not happening. And it's because there's so many jobs out there and people aren't there to fill them.
Yeah.
Because they're doing something else. I have no idea what they're doing. They're influencers. That's what they're doing.
Well, then let me get on that train, man. Because if they don't have to work and they're making money, that sounds nice.
Yeah, well, they're doing a lot of infinity, all those affiliate marketing and stuff like that, which works. It just takes a while to build it up. Yeah. Good. I know a lady out of Florida who makes millions a month off of it, but she's been doing it way before anybody else was doing it. She wrote the book on it.
I'm gonna say if you can find 1,000 videos on YouTube, then it's probably a saturated market by now, right?
But think about how many millions and millions of people there are.
Yeah, well,
there's a lot of people out there.
330 million in the U.S., right?
330, right? Was there 40 million in California?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there, you can sell a lot to a bunch of people in California.
Yeah.
But that's it. Don't wait around for this program because you're going to wishing you would have bought earlier. If you wait around, not only is it going to potentially go up more in value, right? The cost of that home.
Yeah.
But then you're going to compete with a bunch of people. The best thing to do is now, I know the payment's not the best payment. The interest rates aren't the best, but the house value is perfect for what you want right now.
And I know it's not anecdotal, but it's something to think about long term. We always talk about, real estate is a long term investment. Anybody who bought a house in the Bay Area, even all the way up into the 80s, is sitting on a gold mine now. So
all the way up until 2020, 2018, 2019, 20, 22, they all made money.
Well, I was going to say, when did home prices start shooting up to like $1 million range?
I don't know. I'm just saying, but they bought them for cheap, and then they start going up. They've been going up every year for a certain price point. So it's been over the 90s and 2000. It's just a little bit each year and keep going. Because I remember my parents bought their little place on 428 Roseburg back in 86 for 80 grand, and then they sold it for I have no idea exactly, but it was not cheap, 500,000, what I mean, for something recently. So I mean, at what point? But it could have been more than that in 2006. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's all relative. It's these values are just going up and going up, and if they keep going up 20%, we were going up on average 4 to 5% a year, and it was a good number.
Yeah, that's healthy.
Right now we're going, 20, 21. 19, 20, 21, 22, you're going up, 22%. That's a great healthy number, but you just hopefully can't sustain that.
Yeah.
Well, we say that, but people are moving out of state to go to another place and they're paying the same thing. Prices, and if it's not in the price of the home, it's in their taxes and their costs. And I talked to a lady who just bought a house in my neighborhood. She came from Tennessee, and she's like, it was horrible. She's like, Did we talk about this? Summertime was horrible. You can't even go. You got this beautiful backyard, but you're out there and everybody's like, can we go in the house? Humidity and the bugs and everything. She's like, people who live there for their whole life have no idea how nice California is with weather and everything else, even in our area. And someone said the other day, it's like, when you go to a concert, you know how the seats in front are the most expensive? Right, how the closer you are to the stage, and the guy's like, "That's how California is. We're closer to the stage. We're closer to the ocean. That's a cold ocean that gets us cooled off at night. And the closer you are to that ocean, is the more expensive it is. Also here in California, right?
Yeah.
But people are like, I have no problem paying, for first class or front, But some people don't. Well, then you don't live in California then.
Well, I can also see though the people that go to other states looking for just some elbow room. because it's expensive to get acreage out here unless you're way up in the sticks.
But if you can't enjoy it, it just all depends on where you're at and what's you know.
I guess what's tolerable to you, right? I mean, if you can run around in shorts and a tank top and just accept the fact you're going to be sweaty all day,
and eating alive, and gotta invest in DEET. And,
yeah, the bugs.
Because I lived in Colorado, we constantly were sprayed with, keep mosquitoes off you.
Yeah.
And it's all, again, it's all relative to where you live and what you want, right? You just have to figure that one out yourself.
Yeah.
All right. We could beat this forever, but before, as we always say, if you're going to move to another state, don't sell your house first here in California. Rent it out. Go rent there. See if you really want to do it. We live there the worst time of the year, hottest time, cold time, whatever that is for that time. See if you can tolerate it before you sell out. Because once you sell out, it's so much harder to come back.
Yeah. Well, and especially if you're on a fixed income, right? Like, so my parents have talked for many years about moving out of state. And I had that conversation with them the other day. I said, hey, I know that it'd be hard to think about a renter being in your house for a year, but if you leave and sell the house, the chances of coming back and qualifying for a home is nil, because they're planning on retiring. So.
Right. It's just so much harder to come back. It's very difficult. And, and again, it just depends, and the lady that I was talking to, my neighbor, she actually owned a house down on Roseburg years and years ago.
Gotcha.
So it's not, and she's lucky she was able to come back.
Yeah.
Worked out for her. Not always. All right. Thanks for being here. Thanks for talking to me. And you guys, thanks for watching. We really appreciate you. If you like what we do here, the best way to do it is just subscribe to our YouTube channels, Real Estate Jerky, Ed Parcaut, and Robert Atkins Realtor. That's your YouTube channel, right, Bobby?
Yeah. And my YouTube and my website as well.
All right. There you go. Make it a great